50. Well, this is a lot closer than I thought it would be. 44% of you think Toronto's going to win? Like, it's not impossible. It's not impossible by any stretch of the imagination that Toronto wins this one. I think San Francisco's a better team. I think San Francisco is a really good team. 45% of you think Toronto's going to win. Okay. I just vote for Toronto because I don't like Sinatra. You know what? Props to you for being honest. Okay, here we go. Sombra Goats from the Toronto Defiant. Ooh, now we get to talk about the asymmetry matchup. So Envy already kind of like looking for a hack. He's going to find Diva. That's a pretty big one. And that engagement actually occurred before the 15-second mark. So San Francisco Shock had no idea that the Toronto Defiant were playing Sombra Goats at all. You could kind of see that very, very surprised reaction from Choi Hope and kind of be like, oh shit, they have a Sombra. That'll happen once and only once. Now that Shock has like the information, they no longer lack the critical information. That mistake won't happen twice. Shouldn't. Not won't. Shouldn't. You saw Atlanta play. You can't always classify things based off of what should happen. Okay, Yakpung's also getting really, really close to Shatter based off of that hyper-aggressive push after the hack came out. Toronto's all low. Yakpung doesn't find value with the hammer. They're kind of pushing in there. What is Moth doing off on the corner? Moth is on a little bit of an adventure. He's come back just in time to get grabbed. The counter grab comes out. Stellar rallies in it. What a horrific waste of a rally. Ugh. And Shock's in control. Beautiful. I love this aggression from Shock. Okay. EMP, though. So what does Shock have? Shock has Barrier. They don't have Rally. Toronto has EMP. So there's got to be some spy checking. There's got to be a very decisive kind of trigger about whether they're going to try and engage or tank it. They're looking for the EMP. Envy knows that Moth is trying to hide. They think that they have Transcendence, though. Why would he... So that they attempted to hack the Zenyatta. Like, the only reason you do that is if you're like trying to grab without them being able to trance it, or if you want to kind of like spook the Zenyatta into trancing, something of that variety. But Envy going for the hack on Violet when he was at 50% to Transcendence is certainly a misplay. Yeah, not a really good play from Envy there. So either it was ult tracking or decision making, but something went wrong there. Okay, so now they have Grab and EMP. There's the EMP coming out, but Rascal did manage to get Rally off before that happened. Unfortunately, Super died. They didn't use one of their support ultimates. They only used Rally. So I'm not sure. The camera wasn't in a good enough place to see if like Sinatra managed to get a bubble, or I didn't look fast enough to see whether both supports got EMP'd as well. But either way, EMP for a little bit of a cleanup. It's not bad. San Francisco's already past 90%, so San Francisco only needs one fight, and they have 5 ultimates to do it. But Toronto Defiant also has 5, and they're already halfway to their next EMP. So, situations like this, rally triggers. Toronto has the rally trigger advantage there. And then after rallies being triggered from Stellar, or we could just grab and go for it. Okay, that works too. The counter grab was eaten from Choi Hoban. Shit is flying every which way. They're chasing down Ivy. Moth is in the back line, has Barrier, is going to use it since there's nothing he really has to save it for. Envy does has the sound, or sorry, yeah. Envy had the EMP. Okay. Did they, I would have to think about what Moth did there. Did Moth beat... Because they would have still known they had EMP. Or we're going to get it. Did Moth use it to force the Sombra to go in an EMP so they wouldn't have it for the recontest? Moth. He's smart. Moth is smarter than me too, so I'm not going to get it right, am I? I lost track halfway through about like what the plans were for each of the teams, and then I saw the beat, and then it got EMP'd, but I don't know. I would want to look at that fight again. Yeah, he beat before EMP. I know that, but I don't know if it was on purpose or if because they already had the advantage and they wanted to use it to clean up. But of course, Envy is going to like reactively EMP the barrier off. But the only way that Envy could do that was by throwing in his translocator, and he got punished because of it. And then they wouldn't have had it for any theoretical stagger phase. Sinatra gets super low, great aggression. Moth is back there, though, and doesn't have his amp to get out. He gets punished there. So, Moth kind of fucks up the boot play. Now I'm just so conscious about how much I'm swearing. Would you guys prefer that I don't swear? I guess it's not really a family-friendly stream, but... Okay, you guys don't seem to mind it. I'm sure some of you guys do, but it seems like the majority doesn't mind. Ooh, great boof off Ivy. He can't do anything. You gotta go really aggressive. Your shot. Oh, they're stabilizing. Okay, and the rest of them drop. Is anybody split? Yeah, they're split. Push the highs. Push the highs. Push the highs. Push. Sinatra is not going for it, though. Wants to take the... So, I think it was counter-called. I think somebody called from the San Francisco Shock. Oh, no, that got them split, too. So, somebody was obviously calling to go for the targets who were still on the high ground, but the Sinatra was looking at the point, turned back to the rest of his team as if he was looking to confirm that they were coming. So, like, the boop from Moth got the Toronto Defiant split, and then they chased on the high ground. They didn't chase fast enough. They swapped, tried to go onto the split targets who were on the point based off of, I assume, Sinatra's counter call, and got punished for it. So, like a miscomm there from San. And that was also interesting. Did the rest of the Shock go to a different location? EMP comes out from Envy. Violet's going to be taken out. They're going to want to have this flip, but there's no way Toronto will let them have it. Rascal's super low. He gets domed. Oh, my head. This is much better quality Overwatch than the Philly Atlanta game was. This is already much better. Okay, so they have Grav. They don't quite have Bomb. They do have Rally, though. No EMP. Both support ultimates online. How is Shock going to play this? They're just going to drop to point. Smart. Smart, knowing they only have less than 10 seconds. Violet is low. Beautiful right click. But they get to. Trance doesn't save from the right click onto Rocky or the pin onto Stellar. So Shock is still up one. Rascal's being risky there, and Neko gets taken off where I'm not looking. Yakpun's just trying to reset. So Toronto is just... They're fine with this. They don't want to invest any more ults. Toronto just willingly lost that fight at the end there because they were 99-0. They have ultimates, and they just want to win one more fight cleanly where they don't run the risk of kind of like over-ulting and losing. Envy's going to get staggered. Yes, he does. Okay. Shocker going to push in. Well, Choyoben's not with them, so the Trance has to be committed, and Ivy has Graviton. Hammer comes out. Why would Yakpung have invested Shatter there? Very risky. He must have seen an opportunity for it, but at that point in time, there wasn't going to be any follow-up. So, two mistakes in very, very short order. First being from Violet to Trance that, but that's not really a mistake for Violet himself. That's a mistake of the team overall for being in a situation where Violet needed to Trance. They tried to go aggressive, which was the trigger, but the team wasn't in a position to pull it off. And now they're going to be going in a situation where Ivy has Grav, Envy has EMP, and they don't have Transcendence available for either of them. So this is a pretty bad situation if you're the San Francisco Shock, and they want to kind of draw this out as long as possible so they have more options, more tools in their toolkits in order to counter this. Super gets destroyed, though, before ultimates are even used. So does Rascal, and I think this map is going to go to the Toronto Defiant. Very nicely played, Toronto. Few interesting decisions, just minor decisions here and there that kind of like caused this one to go the way of the Toronto Defiant. But Super back with the Shatter. It's not even going to matter. Nicely played. This is some pretty good Overwatch. You guys are watching some pretty good Overwatch so far. Nice.
exciting stuff so far here at Kilios. Tied 1-1 now, and for the most part, the big plays we're seeing from the Shock have been around Super. He's able to make these picks happen with these charges. We see pins into the wall, which is instant kill. You can't heal through that if someone is going to get blown up in that contact to the wall. And some of these charges during ults that we're seeing from Defiant have been exactly what they needed. His shatters, minus the last one, which was at Desperation Shatter, have been really good too. But at the end of the day, it's the EMP value. This is something that has really been setting apart the great teams from the best teams in a lot of cases. Soul showed yesterday.
Okay, here we go. And we're on City Center. Once again, Sombra Goats versus normal Goats. So this is a pretty good map for Sombra. There's a lot of different ways that you can actually like trigger your EMPs, a lot of ways you can hack or look for hacks. It's unfortunate the Brigida shield actually managed to be the trigger there. So Envy still hasn't managed to like get forced out here, so he's still looking for hacks, but you know, San Francisco is doing like a really good job of just kind of like leaving Envy alone, interrupting his hacks, and then pressuring the front line where Toronto simply has fewer resources. So Toronto's playing this well. Just Envy not getting value in that initial engagement is going to be basically the sole reason why San Francisco gets the first cap.
Ult charge lead, it's not a massive lead. Envy is harassing you. He goes and gets a health pack, and they translocates behind you, and suddenly Defiant sitting at 80% of an EMP right now. That pick is massive because that's what they need to turn this.
So instead of trying to do anything, I assume it's just Envy on the point trying to force the objective pressure, but Toronto's not falling for it. Like they can afford to kind of like let that happen because they know that it's a 6v5. The fact that the point is there, you know, is being capped, it just gives them a certain amount of time to just destroy the rest of Toronto Defiant. So like you're going for that kind of like back cap pressure in a little bit of an awkward situation that doesn't really gain much value. So far, Toronto Defiant have at least shown to be pretty far committed to this Sombra Goats, but their Sombra Goats isn't very well executed so far. They're doing a lot of good things, but the merit in their play so far isn't in actually the true essence of the Sombra Goats here. Okay, so they have Transcendence, but they're going to early grab this so that they can't get any value of the EMP. And San Francisco is just so good and so decisive. They go aggressive at the right times, at the right moments, that even when Toronto has a win condition, they're not fast enough to actually set up and execute those plays. And San Francisco is just shutting them down. And like, you know, it's what's that Sun Tzu quote? It's like, don't attack where your enemy is strong, attack where they are weak. And that line alone like defines how San Francisco is playing right now. EMP, but right after Rally, right? And then Rally into Transcendence. So you cannot ask for a better situation than that. A counter hammer coupled into beat, coupled into bomb. We're past 85%. Even if they lose, which they probably won't, although they didn't get as much value as they would have expected there. Ooh, that's a little bit of a dangerous location. How did that stun hit him? Choi opens out. Violet's going to die. That's too bad. San Francisco played that one really well, and if they won that, it would have been kind of like just a very, very impressive city center map.
This is now a race between Envy and Violet in terms of ult charge. Sinatra can, if he grabs well here, win them this map right away. But that's the next thing you're worried about for Shock is, okay, Envy's got to be getting close to that EMP, and we're going to have to be ready for it. They were previously. If they can do it just one more time, it'll be enough. Here comes the grab. Yep, grab going to be thrown down, locking him up. Yakung by himself.
Don't have to wait. Don't have to play around a diva because they don't even have one. So Ivy's got Hiv Grav. We got food? Nice. Chinese is coming. Grav comes out. They trade. Rally's coming out from Rascal, though, as long as he doesn't die. Yeah, he was at about 20 HP. There's the counter pin. Is it going to be enough to kill Super? Yeah, but he trades for Stellar as well. 99%. That's going to be a cap, and that gives about Toronto Defiant pretty much 5 seconds to contest. They need to touch. Envy had to translocate on. That puts him in a very risky position, and Choi Hoban should get the pick. Moth gets him. Envy's next. Well played. Well played. I would kind of like want to watch... Oh, no, maybe it's... Oh, they double support ulted. Oh. Sad. Toronto, with the 2 support ultimates, they might have had a better chance, but they dropped them on top of each other. Wow. Shock is looking good. Shock is looking good. Oh, that was a joy to watch. That was really, truly a joy to watch. I am going to tweet something because I am so impressed with Shock's play. Kings Row PogChain.
We will see Envy start the defense here once again with Sombra, and no variations here for the Shock. Just continuing to run 3-3.
Okay, here we go.
He's gonna have to be
Somber Goats versus Zen Goats again.
builds if he's going to want to challenge the Shock
Okay.
right now.
Yakpun's getting pushed out pretty hard. Like, just really high aggression here. Like, I don't even see Envy or what he's doing. So, a hack on a Sinatra, but didn't Sinatra already use his bubble rotation? Like, they're pushing forward. Envy used the translocator. Go! Go, Shock! Go! Push! 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 They're dead. Look at those. Perfect trigger pulls. Boom. They're good.
Different than what we saw from Seoul yesterday. In the matchup yesterday with New York and Seoul, I want to make this comparison because it's the same comps we're seeing right now. Envy is building about half of what we're seeing in terms of ult charge that we saw from Michelle yesterday. This is just Sinatra carrying and smashing this fight. But there's no diva here. There's no way to mitigate damage. And he needs to be at 80%, 90% right now on the Sombra, or the Sombra pick is just simply not worth it. And Shoyobin is shutting him down, revealing him, and making that farmed EMP charge, which you see on the diva so often, difficult.
Like, unless Toronto have, like, really, truly committed all of their plans to Somber Goats, they should be going and trying to win the mirror matchup at this point. Like, Shock is dismantling them harder than Shock dismantled us when we tried to play Somber Goats against them. So, okay, Sinatra on the high ground. I love this positioning from Sinatra. This is so good. This alone just, like, takes off so nice. And like, Sinatra doesn't even have to blink about, like, can I grab here? Because there's no diva to even make his life challenge. No! Envy, what are you doing? Envy, what are you doing? No! No! The brick is right there! Okay, yes, they swapped off Sombra! They tilt swapped! It was worth it! Woo! Tilt swap. Okay, let's see if you're any better, Toronto. Please never play Sombra again. Okay, there's a grab. Bomb coming in. Barrier to block it. That's fine. Barrier to engage. Grav to counter that one. Trance is late. Doesn't save Stellar. Okay. Choi Hoban and Envy dueling on the high ground. Roki in trouble. Ivy gets taken out though. And Yakbang. I didn't see how that one happened.
Oftentimes, you've created the strategy, you've scrimmed it, you've practiced it, and now you've already thrown it in the garbage. Yeah. Not a good sign. I mean, right now, Defiant are getting thrown in the garbage by the Shock. Shadow's gonna be coming in.
The casters said that the Defiant are getting thrown in the garbage by the Shock. This is a nightmare for the Defiant. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Okay. That was punishing. They got to stay off the Sombra, though. It's not working. It's a mix, and the thing with, like, why their Sombra Goats isn't working is it's a mix between Envy's individual shortcomings on the hero and, like, the way that Toronto is playing around it at the macro level. Here we go. Sombra? Good. They've given up on the Sombra. Okay. Now, your plans are out the window. You're not playing Sombra Goats. How quickly can you adapt? What else is in your pocket? How deep does your bag of tricks go? Yakpung getting knocked to the wrong side of the point. Ivy getting stuck on a car and discorded. Yakpung gonna try and charge out. Okay. Not a good first attempt.
Good luck to Dallas in the next stage, but Owl 2019 Boss 1, Owl 2019 Boss 2.
Thanks for the good wishes. You must be happy. Boston made it one game further than we did. Okay. So Toronto's going right side of statue. They're already getting pretty low. All Shock's still high. Sinatra is getting a little bit low, but he like Sinatra is just such a flanky Zarya compared to other people. Just chucking those right clicks. His right click accuracy, I don't know why I notice it on Sinatra over any other Zarya, but Sinatra, he has such perfect placement on his right clicks. Just puts so much pressure on backliners and helps his ult charge so significantly. Choyobin doesn't quite have his bomb there. He was still at 65%, but they are going to be able to get Ivy and then Yakpung as well. So the downside is that they had to use Transcendence there because they didn't have Barrier, and now they're facing down the barrel of a Grav Bomb combo of their own. So, like, Sinatra's only at 50% here. Super needs to land some sort of, counter shatter here, or the Grav needs to be eaten. Like, they need some way to keep the other people, the bad people, the Toronto Defiant, off of them during the Grav Bomb so that they can stay alive. And Ivy, Yakpung's coming up on Hammer as well. Okay. So, Defense Matrix is down. You could have used it, Ivy. Okay, he does use it. Bomb comes out. Okay. They just try and bomb back or combo back instead of doing anything themselves to just stop it from happening. They do lose one. Roki's one. Okay. Sinatra charged 50% of his grab in the start of that fight, and it was fast enough that they could counter grab bomb. There's this charge. Boom. Nice. Nice. Okay. Rally Trance for Toronto. Hammer Rally for Shock. Okay. Let's see if Shock can set up a hammer play. Are you going to speed shatter? Are you going to stun shatter? Are you going to boop shatter? Are you going to proactively shatter at all? There's a hotel rotation. Moth's looking for the boop. Get it, get it, get it! Oh, they only got one. Oh, they did get two. Ah, that was so good, Moth. Oh, it's so good. Beautiful. Limited tools in your toolkit, just as impressive results. Moth carrying super again. Okay, why do the Divas hide here? Why are the Divas hiding there? Choyobin dies, though. Nice. Well played, Shock. I want to know why the Divas are playing there, because that's the second Diva I've seen play there, and it doesn't immediately make sense to me why. Chat, why would a Diva hide in that position? Somebody help me out here. It wasn't to eat Grav. You don't really get to do much there. It wasn't to boop shatter. Yeah, but Grav, like the Grav and the boop shatter play, were neither of them were options, unless they thought that Ivy had Grav. So look where Choyobin hides. Because who else we saw? Was it Seoul doing this or New York doing this? It was Meko, right? Meko. So it's right here. It's right here. That's where Choyobin is hiding. But Ivy doesn't have Grav yet. He's 30% off of it. Super doesn't have Hammer either. So, what value does this position really give? It can't be to force trance. So he gets noticed and flies away immediately. He can get stunned here. He's going to feed some ult charge here. Are they trying to go for a double boop play? Moth is way too far to try to go for a double boop. You can scout way easier in different ways. burst Zen to force trance. They don't have trance. Like, you could try and play... So the two suggestions that I'm hearing that are most likely coming from chat are that you use it to burst the Zen, which is, sure, if you're, like, very decisive and aggressive, but A, you're still going to get scouted. And then the second one is you try and, like, overextend the Reinhardt. But if you try and use Troy Hoban here to, like, fly through the Toronto, assuming, again, he's unscouted, then he's going to get stunned by Stellar here on the brig unless he gets bubble. But then if you give the D.Va the bubble, you're not giving it to Super, and it's harder to go aggressive. I don't understand this. I don't understand this play. Feel free, if you guys think you have the answer, let me know. Okay. So on defense, the San Francisco Shock is running a really kind of an interesting composition. Analysts that I've been speaking to recently have termed this composition Zenyatta Goats. And then Toronto Defiant, actually, funny enough, is actually going to be attempting to attack this point with the same composition. So the pathing on the first side is that Toronto's going to be going right side. They're going to go space, and then they're going to be going all the way up there. So you should be seeing San Francisco trying to rotate. Super should be taking the airlock as well. Like, putting yourself into a pretty... Like, this is a rough choke, but it's not as bad as the stairwell. So... Looking for some boops to split, get a lot of cleave damage. Yakpung is in trouble. Ivy got knocked in. Ivy was so far out of position there, I thought I was watching Sinatra. So, like... yeah, that's just how far out of position he was. But, like, chokes are bad for a ton of reasons. Like, first of all, Super moves up so that he's going to get bubbled, and he's going to swing once, and he's going to get 5-6 hits. Just do a ton of damage, which is super hard for them to heal up, especially since they're playing Zenyatta, not Moira. And then if they try and go through the choke, the D.Va and the Lucio are just going to bump them all to shit. So, San Francisco being super aggressive. Now, oh god, Yakpung's down. That's just Jayne kept it rolling all night long. Jayne kept it rolling all night long. Super's being pretty passive here, even for being at full HP. Now they're the one who's ended up in a choke, but Toronto is missing their main tank, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Neko gets crushed. Sinatra's like, bring me more! Forward, my friends! Okay. We've got some ultimates, so the next fight will be a little bit more interesting. They tried to path right, it failed. They tried to path left, they got caught out and jumped on. Like, Shock's timing on when to jump, or like their rotations are clean. They're playing the game correctly, dare I say. Okay, so they're trying the left rotation again. Both rallies get triggered. Toronto's trying to, like, half stabilize in that room. Sinatra eats a Zenyatta headshot. Super looked for the hammer. It didn't find anything. Transcendence is coming out from the side of Neko, but it's going to be before the trance comes out. Not even sure why the trance came out. Journeying barrier and the shield are being used. Troy Hoban's not going to be able to remech, though, so that gives Toronto a pretty sizable advantage here. Ivy gets taken out, though, so as long as Super doesn't die, Sinatra will slowly be able to outvalue Toronto Defiant as they're trying to take back that high ground. It's going to be difficult. Oh, the boot from Moth! You're a god! Rascal gets taken out, but so does Yakpung, and then Sinatra, 2 kills, 1 right click. What a... Yeah, that was good. And Sinatra with a cleanup kill, too. Moth. Moth, 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 Moth. Moth is so good.
Committed to that fight. If the Defiant had committed when Choyban was denied the remake there, that's the moment, right? We're going to watch this fight just again, but, like, that's the moment.
Boom! Got 2 kills off that right click.
You could take a fight, build those ult charges you're going to need for the follow-up attack.
Blap.
And
Nice.
I got to say, like, that hesitation's going to cost them. And now,
Last fight.
Do it again. Sinatra's still going to be on the high.
Sinatra has another grab, too.
Not that high. The grab will go ahead, lock up Neko and Stellar, trying to find the kill. Sorry, but we'll have
Moth is just going kamikaze on Neko. Nice. There's not much to say about that. San Francisco is playing this very well. Way more decisively. Like, Toronto's not trying to, like... There's not a lot you could do to kind of... Like, Toronto can path all they want and kind of you know, take whatever direction they want. But San Francisco Shock is like every rotation down. You know, they know when to drop. They know which targets to go for. And Sinatra is just so good.
Nearly gets taken down. The arm pack keeps them alive for a little bit longer as they work their way in onto the point. Do manage to tag in for that OT. He said Shatter online. Yakpung finally trying to join in already. Gets beaten and battered. Transcendence is out from Neko.
Troy Hoban doesn't get... That's 2 bombs that Troy Hoban has used where he hasn't been able to get back into mech after he's used them. He uses for the Shatter anyway. So with Sinatra going down, that's pretty much guaranteed cap for Toronto. But it is in overtime, though. So, are overtime spawns going to be into effect? I don't think so. No, overtime spawns were not in effect.
Doesn't have the barrier for a teammate afterwards, and they still turn the fight. If that's not defying odds, I don't know what
Okay,
is.
ults. Ivy's got... Toronto Defiant has grabbed bomb. They are coming up on barrier. Hammer, but double support ultimates. Okay.
Really need to start playing out of their minds if they want to make that happen. Super gonna be pushed back away from the point. Then stunned up. Almost
Super almost gets bursted. Oh, no. Ivy wants that one back.
thrown into the back and beat.
That beat was beautiful. Oh! Super! That was so good. Oh, man. Moth came out, gave barrier just in time. Super gets knocked around and hammers 3, but oh, man. That was so good. It's not going to matter. Like, it looks like Toronto Defiant are going to get this point. Hammer comes out, doesn't hit things. Moth is dead, which... Oh, no. Trance is out. Are they going to be able to get enough? I don't think so. Rackle burns. They're just burning time down.
We're losing members. It looks so bad for Toronto.
Good stuff.
But they managed to bounce back and close it out with
Toronto managed to get the snowball. I didn't think they would, but they got it.
minutes on the dot. Toronto
Where would I rank Toronto? In like a power ranking? Upper middle. Like somewhere between 5 and 10.
Ivy's POV. Pushed up over the top.
Yeah, Troy Oben. Boom. That's the second, like, that happened twice. That Troy Hoban was denied his remake because of his bomb. Where's Fuel? I think, like, in stage 1, because I'm not going to talk about stage 2 at all, but in stage 1, I think we were about a 6th. If I were to make a power ranking honestly, in stage 1, I would have put us around 6th.
That it is. I got step 1.
Okay, how are you going to pass this, Shock?
Now, see how their defense fares. Because Kings Row didn't go so well for him. So maybe Horizon will be the turnaround for them to try to get a win on the board and start pushing towards that reverse sweep.
So bait to space and go underneath. Good drop from Toronto, though.
They're playing around the pressure.
Didn't get any splits. Oh, they did take out Violet, though. I didn't even see where Violet was.
Take it down. Ivy finding that kill, trying to build up for that grab. So not need to get on the point. Gonna be neck and neck with him.
And everyone's low. Like, they're having to push into him. They can't stabilize, though, because of the time pressure. But Super's just cleaving them after. Oh, man.
Sinatra finds another kill. Super gets
Yep. Oh, Ivy's dead. Oh, another doubler! Another 2K with a single right-click. Sinatra is having a great game. Like, I wanted Moth to be MVP, but Sinatra is just so good at this game.
We'll go ahead, pop NB out, finish him off.
I wouldn't even be mad if they gave MVP to Sinatra instead of Moth.
Out of Defiance.
This is a just better understanding of this meta. Sinatra
Oh, sorry.
70 energy in that fight, and despite the pick onto Violet, they win the 5v6 because he's in a place where he cannot be damaged while he was dealing massive damage in the choke that the San Francisco Shock created. They are the attackers, and yet they are the ones who defend the point
Emong is a streamer for the Philadelphia Fusion. He's not a player.
in this team fight.
Rally to drop onto the point. Rally is being answered. There's a grab. It's caught Yakpung. The bomb is being caught in the grab, though, so it's not going to get any value. That's unlucky. Ivy's grab gets eaten. This is huge for the Shock. Bomb's coming out. It's going to hit Aid. Yes, it does. That's beautiful. Stellar's won. They need to try and push that to get the confirm the kill. They're going to break Ivy's mech, though. Stellar gets a little bit of healing back up.
Matter of seconds, rather, if he pokes his head out around that corner again. And again, they have to work their way over onto the point, trying to boot them back off. And he makes his way through. So much damage
Beautiful.
being offered up by the Shock.
Beautiful.
And here we go. ladies
Where would Boston be in my power rankings? Probably around 12th or so.
Massive time bank. Go ahead, take a look at Troy Hoban here. Taking away his
Definitely like bottom middle
He is just
for Boston.
basically doing everything that you need to as a diva. I mean, whether it's absorbing grabs, setting up for bombs, which by the way that got kills there, the one that we didn't finish the replay of. He's denying Sombra from getting hack value, from getting EMP charge previously, so much so that Envy's now forced to go over to D.Va. Sombra is off-tank in this meta. The off-tank plays Sombra. And in this matchup between Envy and Choyobin, it's not even close.
Okay, Toronto, what are you going to do? Are you going to try and bait a rotation? Because Shock's rotations are good. So you need to abuse scouting and vision and bait some sort of rotation. Or just commit to space. Oh!
It hasn't gone well for many teams this season in general. Winston or no on the defense. Maybe
They're doing it, chat.
they're trying.
Okay, well,
But Shock haven't
I don't know why they waited so long outside, but
out again, just trying to cut
Neko's in trouble.
nearly getting picked off.
Neko's in trouble.
There,
Yep,
Choyobin will be able to push forward. Manages to
there he
run
is.
it down. They claim the
Well, you know what? It's an improvement. So I'll take it. Ah, I'm so sorry, chat. That's twice I've forgotten.
prep that came into this series was Sombra based.
What happened during the Boston Fuel game? I don't want to talk about, like, team specifics stuff. Like, I'm never going to analyze Fuel on stream. I'm not going to talk about anything more than kind of, like, giving very, very brief overviews. So, I don't, like,
Winging it right now.
just not my place.
And the Shock are just not going to be caught off guard. This is their arena. This mirror matchup is favoring them. And taking that right side flank and faking it out is not going to trip them up.
Okay, Toronto, what's your path going to be? Space? Staircase. Ooh, nice. Shock actually hesitated on that one, and they get off the high ground. 2 slammed, though. Good. Stellar's low. He's going to die. Oh, Super's hammer swing. Just, like, gave Stellar a haircut. It doesn't matter, but that was, like, Stellar was an inch away from just getting his head lopped off.
now. San Francisco Shock looking so poised to take this with a 3-0 and punch their ticket into the semifinals tomorrow.
This is such a tragedy for the Defiant.
That was like Toronto finally pulled off that pretty well. Like they faked space, and then last time they had faked main, but that time they actually kind of like faked and went stairs, and then they actually got up past the choke before San Francisco reacted. So that was a good pathing attempt from Toronto.
Shaken a little bit. This is a newer squad to the Overwatch League. The Shock, this is their first playoffs. They look
Okay,
like better in
what are you gonna do? Your space. And, oh, that's a bait. Okay, so they're doing fakes and baits now. They're not out of it yet. They didn't mental boom. They're still trying. That's good. It's good that they're still trying, and they're still doing good things in response to being punished the first round. They're changing it up. So they did 2 fakes and a bait. Good stuff. Now they're in a much better position. Good, Toronto. Good.
Needs to be a big grab from Ivy somehow. He wants to use it second. That's the idea here, but it's costing them valuable time.
6 ultimates. What are you going to use? So Rally comes out from Stellar. Rascal doesn't have it to answer back with. Does hit, but Transcendence is answered back. No bomb is being launched out. Sinatra's grab gets eaten. So this means that Moth is going to have to use Barrier at some point if he actually wants to win this fight. Choyobin gets 2, though. Huge. There's the bomb. There's the barrier. 8 is low, but the bubble's going to save him. Envy's demeched, and that's all she wrote. It was a shatter bomb, right? The 2 targets that died were shattered? That's right. Chat, yes. Nod say yes.
5 minutes and 55 seconds to force a 5th map. We have never, I mean,
Chat is saying no.
commentated the
Oh, I
series of Overwatch, you know, in Korea here now, in the States.
gotta go rewatch that.
World Cup.
I was hoping I saw that right, but I wasn't sure of it.
But holds like this do not come often. A draw in this scenario will bring them the 4th map because it's not technically speaking a best of 5. It is a first to 3 win. So they will need to win. But is there anyone who believes that the Defiant will even hold one?
Where is this?
One push. With how dominant this has been, you know, the fans gotta believe. We're gonna see, look
It's
at
not
this
starting
launch
yet, is
here.
it?
Such beautiful play from Moth, setting up that self-destruct. It was Super who led to the shatter.
We're still on
before that as
replays.
well.
Okay.
And it's just, this team knows how to make these ult combos work. Defiant is playing scared, they're playing shaken, their nerves are showing.
They are. They really are.
How did this happen?
Clean that up
What?
for stage
What?
2, which of course, start will be on April 4th.
Unlucky.
Not much time away, really, before we finish up the playoffs.
Gonna have to look at it later.
Back into the action.
Series is not over yet, but
It was the replay? Damn it. Moth booped them into the bomb. Who was shattered then?
have to hold for nearly
Who was
6
shattered?
minutes without 33.3% of objective being taken.
Oh, man. Unlucky. So it was Moth.
2 maps. Symmetra here.
Here we go.
with the cap.
They're going for it.
Ivy.
Oh no,
Straight hit onto the point. They're already making it happen. The turret's going to be coming through Toronto Defiant. Have to
Disrespectful.
Yakpunk pushing his way through. They're trying to cheese it out again. Super going lower and lower. They're trying desperately to keep him alive, but Stellar does manage to come up the kill, but look how close they are. However, going to get
The only reason that I didn't want that to work is because of the last time that happened, the Symmetra 1 tricks on Twitter were absolutely insufferable. Absolutely insufferable. They were like, see, Symmetra is good, and the pros are stupid. They don't know how to play around Symmetra. They didn't even shoot the turrets. I'm so glad that failed. Because if you're a Sim 1 trick who gets angry at people on Twitter, you need to go outside.
to build the transit. So they're not going to have a transit time for Ivy's grab. I can promise you that right now. So that's the first big win for the Defiant. They will need many more, but it's a good start.
Well, let's see how they fare on the second approach. The Symmetra cheese not playing out so well for them. Drop down aggressively from the side of the Defiant.
Still can't play frown, but
Okay.
anyways, is Fusion
Are they actually
style
going
of
high,
calling
or are they
out
baiting? No,
Raiden
they are.
Austin
No.
or is he a crutch? I feel like overbearing comms can be detrimental sometimes.
I'll
If
talk about that after
Boston's
this map.
roster isn't up to snuff in the first place then, well, I dunno.
Say a lot of time, actually. Ivy's got the grab, and he's got high ground control here.
Violet, Moth both getting tagged up.
Imagine a draw.
A lot of damage on the entrance here. Not high enough energy.
Got a grab, though.
That much of a threat for the crowd.
Both teams have grabs.
Round goes ahead. Hits that one.
There's a counter grab. Ain't nobody pinning that, but they're right on top of each other.
Nicely done.
And you know what? Toronto comes out on top. It's really, really hard to see what happens in a double grab situation like that. Unless you're kind of like mentally prepared based off of what the situation was beforehand, you're just never going to be able to understand what happened in it without a replay. Okay, so they've lost quite a few fights, but they still have like 3.5 minutes to go, so.
Just say, look at me. I got more ult than you. Doesn't matter if you're the better team. I can win with my ult.
The reverse sweep starts here, chat. This is Toronto Defiant's map.
Yeah, not the Symmetra cheese, not the ult advantage. This one, where they're down on
Yeah,
ultimate, and there's
Toronto didn't stop that rotation. Shock would have stopped that. If Shock had been the defenders there, there's no way that the rotation would have worked.
By himself for the moment, but now has the sound barrier to come through, catching everybody on the Defiant.
There's a barrier.
Shielded up. Transcendence gonna be
Trance. Okay. Get value out of it. That's good. Bomb forces them off too. Slam gets them. I think that's all she wrote, boys.
Super gets himself a
What a fantastic map. That was just a joy to watch. Oh, that was a palate cleanser. That was a palate cleanser after the Atlanta-Philadelphia match, but well deserved. And you know, sometimes you get situations where the scoreline does not reflect the the skill level of the two teams. Like sometimes you get situations where both teams are really, really close in skill level to each other, but it just always, for some reason, goes the same way every time, and it ends up being like a 3-0 or 4-0. This match, definitely not one of those circumstances. Shock won. They won decisively. They deserved to win. They were the better team in pretty much every single metric. And
I don't think anyone was questioned.
the only question I have after this map is can Vancouver stop them?
Very impressive stuff.
That's the only question I have.
Of 3-3
Is Shock gonna kind of
tonight.
take that crown off Vancouver?
debut into the stage.
Because that was very good Overwatch. That was very good Overwatch from Shock.
Semifinals, and in such brutal fashion as well. One of the fastest games I think we've had this season.
Who is the player of the match? Is it gonna be Moth or is it gonna be Sinatra? Player of the match is Moth or Sinatra.
It's always hard to pick a player of the match in such a dominant series as this one because everyone looks like a superstar, but no pun intended here. Super set up a lot of these big plays. The charge kills that empowered a lot of Choyobin self-destructs. Not to mention the kills he got on Busan by getting pins and setting up 4 overall
Okay, Super played well.
plays and to close the series out.
Not gonna try and, as much fun as it would be to kind of make fun of Super's play, it was fine.
Talked about Choyobin and what
Are we just like tired of giving it to Sinatra or something?
Super out Yakpung even further. I mean, this was
It's too bad.
very
Either way,
facing a
Moth and Sinatra played well. We know that, chat. They're our player of the match.